Good morning and welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. In today's video, we are going to have a little bit of a play. So you'll see here I have a roll of tape. It's double-sided tape. It's very stinky tape. It is not craft tape. I have sourced this through somebody who works at an adhesive place. And so he brought home just a scrap roll, which is really funny to me because that's a scrap roll. Oh gosh, Chloe, that was my elbow. Anyway, well, she can't be up here with this, so hang on. She's not gonna move. She is super obnoxious this morning. She's wanting to play. So I have this first image that we're going to do, okay? And I found this piece of trim, and it matches her dress really, really well. And I have my Tim Holtz dies. So this one is 661206, and it is called Garden Greens. And this one is 664164, and it is called Wildflower Stems number 2. Ooh, I wonder what number 1 is. I also have here a piece of the Heidi Swap foil, the mink foil. It's called Mint Reactive Foil on that one. And this one is pink reactive foil, but I don't have the thingy to react the foil. So what we're going to do is, when Fuzzy Bottom moves, we're going to put our foil on our double-sided tape and cut out some foil stickers. So that's what we're gonna do. So I will try to prep. Try to get her down. This is like the third time she's jumped up here this morning. She is really, really into wanting attention. She's probably gonna jump back up here. I'm telling you, she's out of control this morning. Out of control. Okay, so this is like super, super sticky tape. So I want to just cut a strip that is long enough to kind of, yeah. Ugh. We're just gonna cut a few of these strips. I hope as these sit that the smell dissipates. I'm sure it will. I have it stored in a gallon-sized bag because it's like super sticky. He said be really careful with it because my eyes lit up. I was like, oh, you got rolls of double-sided tape? How wide? I do have a roll I bought at a retreat from the lady that I get the glacier paste from, or got the glacier paste from. And it's like a 4-inch wide roll. Love that stuff. I've used that before. I used that like in the waterfall journal. And I did basically the same thing in that journal, making flowers for it too. So hopefully this works with this tape. So I'm just trying to get the air bubbles out. And I don't know if you can see, there's some really cool texture in that foil. Can I get 2 on here? I don't know if I can get too wide. We can try it. We can try it. So let's see. Cat hair everywhere. And part of, yeah, barely. Not completely, but that's okay. Ooh, I like the texture, and that's kind of crunchy because that's going to be fun on our flowers. Okay, let go. Oh my gosh. Woo, sticky things. All right, so let's just get the green down. I didn't cut enough strips for all of it, but I just wanted to kind of show you the gist, and then we'll go from there because I think these colors are going to be really cool with our bits. So then I have, oops, this parchment left from the Christmas project, okay? And I'm gonna sandwich these on both sides and put my die on top of the parchment, and hopefully that's going to cut through. I guess there's only one way to find out, right? One way to find out. For sure. You know what? I think I'll just do this so that it fits like that. I just took and folded that over just the one sheet there instead of the 2 sheets because it won't fit like that. Okay. Well, I gotta make sure I am just on 1/2 of that though, or we're gonna have a line in our flowers, aren't we? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Straighten that up so it goes through. Ooh, that's thick. Oh, my nose does not like the smell of that tape. Ooh. Okay. So let's see what we get. Did they cut all the way through? I hope. Yes, I think so. Well, the top of that one, I was off. Hey, well, that's kind of cool. My dye's clean coming out of there. I'm mumbling. I know. I'm sorry. All right. Pokey tool. Where are you? Put your glasses on. So I would not exactly call this a success because this double-sided tape is really, really sticky. So I think it's going to be relegated to the garage, and I actually have a really good use for it to fix something in the RV because my there's like aluminum bubble wrap in the cabinets to help deflect heat and insulate and makes a big difference. But no matter what tape I have used, the insulation won't stay up. So I think this should do the trick because it's really, really, really sticky. But the fun thing with the parchment is this. These aren't perfect, but now I have little parchment bits too. Like, how fun are those going to be to use? But this double-sided tape isn't working very well. However, I will tell you, this does work very well with the other tape that I have that I got at the retreat, and she was a card maker mostly. And so whatever that roll is, it's in the other room. I'm not going to roll over there right now to get it. I'm just going to make this work. But it's very fussy and doesn't want to cut through. And I ran it through multiple times to get them to cut through. So not an epic fail because I learned something, but not necessarily a success either because it's not cutting as clean as I would like it to. However, I'll circle back to, we don't know if we don't try, right? And sometimes, like if it cuts clean, then you can use the negative, positive, negative, whatever. You can use this bit as a piece too, but it didn't cut clean enough. So it's fine. But now we have a few pink flowers. We have some parchment flowers and parchment leaves. I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet. Probably won't use them on this page, but it'll be kind of cool. And I'm hoping these aren't going to be sticky. So I was thinking, and this is something I did a mistake too. See, I didn't get that all the way. So I'm going to have to add a little bit of glue to that, or maybe not use that flower. But I think we're going to run these just maybe a couple on the edges. You cannot see because I'm totally not in frame. I apologize. Maybe just a couple of these on the edges. And I did all that work. You can't even really see them, can you? And then I have these green ones that I haven't poked out at all. But see, like right there's an example. It just didn't cut very nice. But that's okay. Like I said, I didn't know. I hadn't tried to use it yet. So now I do know. And again, not a total failure because I learned something. I've lost my pokey tool. There it is. So it is kind of hard to get them out, and the parchment paper was very helpful as far as that goes, to get them out. And I will, I don't know, I saw somebody do that the other day and I went, why haven't I done that? Because if I thought it would give us the white bits like that, which is pretty cool. So anyway, now see, that's kind of pretty, even with that being kind of janky. What we can do is tuck that behind like that, and you won't even see that I messed it up. But now I've done all that work and I don't even think that I like them. I don't think I like them on this. They're too shiny. Too shiny. Okay, so I changed gears. You can see here I've got some green bits cut, and then I've got a couple of pink bits cut here. And I added a little bit of a darker pink. I don't know if I'm going to use that one or not. And I'm kind of struggling with the direction I was going with this, but it's all right. We're going to just roll with it. So I'm just adding some tone-on-tone stamping. So for pink, I'm using my Distress Oxide Victorian Velvet. And I'm just going to lay it down and stamp. On the green, I used my Bundled Sage Oxide. And this is a Bow Bunny stamp. I don't know what it's called. Newsprint, maybe. On that one, I got a good... And that one's okay. But this one, because of the whoop in the book, it didn't really stamp very well. You know my technical term? Whoop. So now we've got some. Okay. So it just adds a little bit of interest to that plain paper. So my ink is drying on these. And then I think I will gently take my brown around the edges. But I need these to dry first. I don't want to smear the inks. Then I have a piece of lace here, and I was trying to figure out if I wanted it to go the full width of the page or just the image, and I think I'm just going to do the image itself. So what happens, I like to have my lace pattern even on the page. It's a thing. I don't know. Don't ask. It's just a thing. It's a symmetrical thing for me. And I just have a really hard time if it's not. I don't know why. And then I'm like, but I have that bit that seems wasted, or that bit because I cut it too long because I changed my mind. But the thing is that they go in the little remnant bin, and I can use them behind a button or something like that. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine. I think I've got black thread in it. Yeah. And I'm going to stitch all around it. I don't know if I'm going to stitch the lace down or not. I'm not sure if I want to stitch the lace or not, but I definitely want to stitch around this. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have our little floral bits on the edges, and I may, before I glue the whole background piece down, come back and stitch over those edges a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. I just want some tactile, or I don't know, dimensional. I don't know. Somebody tell me the word I'm after, because I'm drawing a blank right now. And I had thought maybe I would do that brighter pink, but now I'm like, maybe not. Maybe not. I like that. And then maybe on this one, we'll have a little bit of green under it and over it. Maybe. So I'm just kind of playing with it. You know, it doesn't have to be, says me, it doesn't have to be like uber perfect. The idea is just that you're playing and you're having fun. And these kits are so beautiful. I don't want to take away. I thought I had gotten I thought I had some stamps with books in them, but maybe I don't. Maybe I don't, because I can't find it. So I need to go back and look in my orders and think, did I order that, or did I just order stamped images from the lady? I can't remember. But it's going to look something like that. And then we have our butterflies here. And there is a butterfly here, so I don't want to use that same one, even though I do love the colors of it. But I think we'll add a butterfly in here too, with some like thread behind it, just something to add a little bit more interest. I kind of like that one, just for contrast, and it ties into her dress. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So I'll stitch around it, do some inking, get it all down, and then come back and we'll work on the next page. So we're getting this glued down, and it is a little fickle. It'll be okay though. I have only glued the 1/2 down. I folded her and just stuck her in the crease, so that way I would know it was in the middle. I think I'm down a little bit further than I had intended, but that's okay. And my 3-in-1 is almost out. Yay, we can stop fighting with the glue and we can get some new glue. I'm so excited. So I just want to make sure I've got that in that crease there. And I don't have my lace on, you can see that, and I don't have my butterfly on. It's off to the right here. I don't believe you can see that. But I just want to make sure I get some good glue down, get these little bits. And I had used art glitter glue to put the bits on the paper itself, but because I'm needing a little bit of wiggle time here, I just used my 3-in-1 to push this down. And I know, oh, why did I do that? I set that up right like a goofball. So she's down. I did take my dauber and just go around the edges and knock back some of that white space. So then when this dries, and let me pin this back to this page. All these paper clips, if you guys have been following me for any amount of time, you know when I use paper clips like this, they end up driving me insane because they get in the way. They really do get in the way, but I think that they're necessary for trying to manage what I want to have where, because I'll forget. And you know, when you work on a project over the course of days and days and you're brainstorming or you're thinking and you're like, okay, I'll put this here, have this here. I don't want to use that many sticky notes. So just use my paper clips and the actual ephemera pieces or whatever. And then I know, oh yeah, that was my intent for that page. Cool. And it helps me. So most of this is going to kind of go like this. I don't know how much of each of these pages I actually want to film building because this is going to take me a while to work on this project. Which way does that go? It's upside down. It goes that way. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and kind of center that where I want it and trim that down. And goodness, I hope I get it right. Makes me so nervous because it's not glued. And I don't want to have a ton, I don't want to have the overhang. How about move your hair so you don't cut your hair in the process? I do need a haircut, but I'd rather not give it to myself. I cut Mark's hair, not my own. I am so sorry about that beeping. For whatever reason, also on my iPad, I have, what are you doing, Jody? On my iPad, I have my messenger notifications turned off. I don't want my phone and my iPad beeping with messenger notifications. And for whatever reason, Facebook has decided to give me Facebook notifications for Messenger. So I'm like, I'm getting them anyway. And that's just a new thing over the last couple of days. It's really annoying. I had it set how I wanted it. I don't want all those notifications going off all the time. I have my text messages on both devices because, you know, I feel like I need to, but I don't need Messenger going off on both devices. Oh, I forgot I wanted some black thread. So I'm going to get some black thread and make sure I have this in such a way that, yeah. So I'm going to get some black thread to put behind him so we have a little bit of texture there. And I can see my 3-in-1 through there. That drives me crazy. But I'll just take my towel and do that. I'm going to go over to the other side of the room, get some thread to put behind here. Maybe I'll see if I have some green or pink. I need to glue the edges of my flowers down here. And then I was thinking I wanted some labels or words for this, but I don't know yet. So it's still a work in progress. So for the most part, this page is done. I do think she maybe needs some gold splatter, but I'm not there yet. She needs something more. We do need a label, but I don't know what I want to use yet. I woke up this morning thinking we need like longing and yearning and wanting and dreaming and kind of like those things when we're reading books or something like that. But I'm not sure what I want to do yet. So I'm holding off on any kind of words. And I put some bling on the butterfly, and I've got 3 different colors of threads back here. So it's there, but it's not like in your face. So then we're going to turn our page, and we're going to have to work on some ephemera on this page. And I want to figure out how I want to do this. I had kind of another idea. I've been brainstorming, and I need a piece that's not directional necessarily, because I was kind of thinking maybe to make like a flip with these. To maybe have like one fold up and then one fold down from the top. And I think this one would be okay because if I cut this just right, we won't even know that this is a chair here. I feel like this one's directional, and this one I feel like is maybe directional. It might be okay from the top, but we'll see. I need to get them backed with something, so I will probably just use maybe the scrap piece of music, or maybe get some different music. Oh, foreign book page. I think we go with foreign book page. So let me find some foreign book page. I'll get these backed, cut out, stitch around them, get a plan for how I want them to be on here, because that will make this page interactive. Oh, though we do have this pocket here. So do I want to do that on this one, or do I want to do that on one that doesn't have a pocket? Maybe. So I'll figure that out. Whew. I'm glad when my foot heals and I can finish moving into this room. I just spent entirely too long looking for my foreign book page. I couldn't figure out where it was. Like, literally didn't know. Oh, how fun. Now this is a French grammar page, and it's got beautiful, beautiful caramel color. So we are going, oh, we've got history and geography. And let's see, English and the Americans. So we're just going to use, oh my gosh, this is amazing paper. Wow. We're going to use these to back some tags. Oh my gosh. All of this is just driving me insane, you guys. It's so much mess in here for sure. So I have to decide. This is the one I said I would have facing down. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these apart. I was kind of contemplating how I wanted to do this, and I never made a decision. Surprise, surprise. Jody did not make a decision. So, oh, do I want to use? Oh, I'm hoarding. I know, I'm hoarding. Hoarding. These are so beautiful. I'm not exactly sure where I got them. I used to be able to speak French. Don't ask me what that says now for sure, because I don't know. So I think I'll just use my glue stick on the back of this tag and line it up over here on the edge of the text. And then that will give us a good majority, but it's English and the Americans on the back of that. And I'll do that with these and kind of figure out how I want to play them or lay them out on these pages. And maybe I'll do something different since these aren't quite wide enough for the backs of these, but I think it would be kind of a cool bit. I also have to be mindful of which way this is going to go and actually which ones I want to use, because I need the colors to kind of blend together. So I think I'll use these two. And this one we'll use for something else for sure. Okay. Yep. So I changed my mind on my foreign book page, and that's okay. And I have stitched this pocket, and there's this little bit of ephemera here. It's like a book shape with this cute lady on it. So I put that on that pocket and stitched around it. Still just using my button to stitch. I'm getting better. My tension is still not right, but my sewing book is in the attic, and you guys know what I'm gonna say next. I can't get up there to get it. So I'm going to open this up. I need it to be relatively flat, and I'm hoping that I can remember what was on that back side. So I have this damask stencil, and it's just about the right size, I think, to get a nice image, a nice, whatever. Yeah. Whatever it is I'm trying to say, read my mind, okay? So I have my Victorian velvet here, and I want to just be really careful and make sure that's down pretty flat and hold it pretty. I hope I'm in my, I almost think I need to be inking my joints so that way when I'm doing this, I know I'm centered, because here's what's going to happen if it ends up being off center. It's going to drive me nuts. But it's not about being perfect. It's just about creating and playing, right? But I'm having fun with this. This kit has got all these lovely ladies, not something I typically would work with, so it's a nice way to kind of push myself into a zone of not. I like to push myself in ways that I typically wouldn't work with something, because it helps me kind of think differently than how I normally do. I guess if it's different by nature, it would be not your normal, right? But anyway, so just get a little bit of color on that background. It doesn't have to be a lot. And then you guys know I use my makeup brushes and I have twine on them, so that way we know what color. I use it among all of my pink color pads, but I don't go like red, pink, different colors with this particular brush. So it just helps keep my stuff a little cleaner. Now I lost my pocket. Okay, so this pocket is going to go here. I don't know what we're going to put in it yet. And I don't know if I had a second pocket on this page. I don't even think. I've skipped pages. I have no idea where I am in this book. I mean, I have flipped and flopped and flipped around it so many times, but it's okay. So I'm just going to use, this is like getting down to almost nothing in here. And so I hand cut the pockets. The ephemera pieces, the cutouts, cut aparts, I used my Cricut for those, which was amazing. And my laptop is downstairs. Yeah, I really need to be. I think I'm gonna stop what I'm doing altogether and ink all the edges and the folds of this, because I'm having difficulty seeing the folds when it's open like this. And I think it would just be better to go ahead and ink the whole project. And I'm listening to a book right now. I'm trying to get through the book. I keep having to renew my library thing for my audiobooks because I haven't finished this book, and I've been listening to the same book for about 2 months trying to get through it, which is not like me. I just haven't sat and listened to him. She is beautiful, and I think I want to maybe liquid pearl her roses, and I think we want to put maybe a brad in her and have her as a pivot point somewhere, because she is just lovely. She's so deep in thought with her pearls. So we'll embellish her. Maybe I'll do that, and then I'll ink all the edges, because then she can dry. Oh, hey, where'd those come from? Right there. She can dry while I'm inking, and then I'll figure out where I'm going to use her, which I don't know yet. Okay, so I want some pink, which is going to be in my red one. So I have these kind of by color family and not liquid pearls, although I love this color. And we need to use this somewhere. For sure, for sure. Don't get to use these colors very often because I don't work with pink very much. I don't know why. Well, I will be, because I'm going to be doing a journal that will be a tribute to my grandmother. My great-grandmother. I've told you guys this before, I think. And so it's going to be very shabby and kind of lacy and just kind of fun. And it'll be pink. Pink was her favorite color. And she would go to the hairdresser and she would get tint put in her hair. And it was called Frivolous Fawn. And it was pink. Grandma used to come home from the hairdresser with pink hair. Long before having crazy colored hair was ever cool. Not bright pink, just a nice subtle pink. She was something. Oh, she was something. Sure did love that lady. That looks like this one's got more, I think, of the pink color to it. These Stardust ones, this is diamond, that's crystal, and that's Stardust. And they are all very similar in color. Oops, not too much. Don't want to get it too wet, and I do have an inkjet printer, so I do always have to be mindful. Where's my white liquid pearl? Sometimes I have a random color stuck on the end of one of my things. Oh, I don't know where it is. Wonder what I did with it. Found it. I should have ordered one more of these from scrapbook.com when I ordered them. So I have a couple of random bottles up in my bin, which is annoying to me because they're not all together, and then I forget and I'm like, oh, where's the other bit? So not an exact line, but it gives the idea that she's got pearls on. So we'll set that aside and let it dry. I'll ink all of my edges and folds, and that way that will help me kind of stay on track. And then we'll go from there, but she's gonna be so pretty. Just a little shimmer and interest. And I'm really thinking that I'm going to want to be doing some gold splatters. Like, definitely on our first lady, she needs some gold splatter. Where am I working? I literally don't know. On the back side. So I've just been flipping all around and picking. That's what I did. Okay. I just had to figure out where I was. Okay, so inking, and then I'll be back. It's the next morning, and Mark's been such a sweetheart and was helping me kind of clean up a little bit because I'm about to lose my mind in here. So much I need to do. So little ability, I tell you. Anyway, so I thought we would do one more page together, and then I will finish all the insides off camera unless I decide that there's something super spectacular and I just have to share with you what I'm doing. And then we will I'll come back and do the cover with you. I have to figure that out, and we all know how that goes, right? Just FYI, I threw the foil flowers away. They were sticking together. They were making a mess. So that roll of tape is definitely a no-go in the craft room. But it is a yes-go in the RV because it is so sticky. I'm certain that will do what I need to have done out there that I can't do with what's out there. Like, because you know what I'm talking about. I inked all these yesterday when I was sitting here thinking. I was just like, I'll get all the edges of those bits inked, and then I have some tags here that are not backed. I haven't used these yet. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure I'm going to go ahead and do that. I did bring my computer back upstairs because I do think we need some more ephemera. I don't think I printed all of the ephemera pages. I was just kind of trying to like pick and choose, you know, what I was printing, because I know me, and this will get to be an enormous project if I don't rein it in. So I have one sheet of normal Tim Holtz wallpaper for the life of me. I cannot figure out what I've done with that pad. I found my Halloween pad though, and this paper I think matches all of these ladies fairly well. So what I was thinking is I have this bit that I tore off of whatever page. This needs, we have to glue this at the 4.5 inches. Okay, this is that page that I was like, well, we'll just glue it at 4.5 because 4.25, as we know, is the wrong size. Then, but I have this flap, and I thought, you know, I could make a couple of these ladies like little flip ups, almost like little waterfall thingy, have it flip up, you know, and then maybe have the bottom one as a tuck. I don't know. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But this piece of paper is big enough to back all 3 pieces regardless. So I will get this glued down, start getting my layout done, and then come back and show you what we're coming up with. I do have the sun coming in. You guys know I can't do anything about that. So I will kind of work on my composition here and then figure out what we're going to do with it. So logistically, I'm working this out, okay? So I've opened up, I've taken a piece off the back, I've opened this side up because I need this to lay flat, okay? And I have my seam here, and if I'm like, well, I can't really see that very well, I'm gonna fold that back, oops, and just hit it. I have pieces, parts falling everywhere. If you guys saw my table, you'd be like, you need to clean up, lady. Okay. So now I can see my seams a little bit better. I do want to use a glue that's going to give me a little bit of wiggle room. If I use art glitter glue, I better make sure I get it down right the first time. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to use my little bit of 3-in-1 that's left in here for this. And we will get it smidgemated. And yes, I say words goofy on purpose. I know how to speak. I don't know what I said in a former video, but I said a word and it's just the way Mark and I are silly talking. And I thought, oh my gosh, somebody's going to think I really talk like that. I don't, I promise. All right, so we're going to just run. What I want to do is I want to run a bead of glue down this edge here to start with, okay? And then I don't want to go in too far here because I don't know where this is going to land. And then I'm going to just run a bead of glue down this one. Again, it doesn't need to be a lot of glue. It's going to be fine. And I can kind of see where the ink was, but I don't trust that because I don't know if I had it correct when I was inking, you know, when I was inking the edges yesterday. So what I want to do, 4.5, Jody, 4.5. Okay. So now I have lined up, this crease is at 0 and this crease is at 4.5, okay? And then I need to make sure that I'm flush, right? So I'm going to put my ruler along the bottom of this page. You guys cannot even see what I'm doing. Okay, so this crease is at 0. This crease is at 0. This crease is at 4.5. And then I'm just scooting my ruler over, having that run along the bottom edge there so we have a straight edge, and try to make sure that this is straight. Hopefully it's straight, okay? So hopefully, in a perfect world now, when we fold this back up, it looks correct. And for the most part, it does. My whole project is a little wonky, but I have to re-score all of my seams and stuff. So anyway, well, and I haven't glued them all either, so that's part of it. All of the joints are just kind of paper clipped together right now, but that one's glued. So that one, now we can proceed and put our little flaps on here. And I'm thinking I want to put some kind of a backing paper on here. And I know Tracie sent me the Victorian album pages because I thought I was going to use those as my backing papers. And there were 2 really pretty background papers in that. So let me look at those and see which one I want to use for that page. Oops. And I'll get those printed because I think we need a background on here, because when I cut these down, when we flip this up, we're still just going to see music. So we need something to put like in between to decorate it. Okay, so I printed out this background piece. It's very subtle. I really like it a lot. And I've just torn it at 4.25 inches. I don't know if it's gonna stay 4.25, but that's where we're gonna start because our page is 4.5. So that will just give us, you know, and maybe we won't go so wide because I did these at 4. And I do still wanna see our background. And let's clean up strips. Oh my gosh. What was I thinking? Oh, these I already had folded, but I don't care about that because I am going to put something on them so it will stabilize what was folded. Man, it looks like it's getting ready to rain. And I want this so that way when we flip up, this is the right way up. Does it matter? I don't really think so, but we're not gonna see. Are we? Ooh, unless I decorate the front with one of these images and then we flip up and then she's like in there like, hey. So maybe we'll do that. Yeah, I think we'll do that. And that will allow me to use up some of these pieces that are giving me a hard time. Like she's still too big for that, but I think I could tear a little bit off the bottom and she would be okay. And like she's been too big to use for anything, but she would be really cute on there, just kind of featured. So maybe we can do something with that. So I will work that out, but that's kind of where my head is right now. And then we still have this, but I definitely want to, I wanted to back these on here because all 3 of these girls will work on this page. So I need to stop trying to use it for something else. All right, so I will get the layout worked out and then come back and talk you through kind of what I'm doing. This background piece is not going to go down in one whole sheet. What's going to happen is I will have my, there it is, my hinge behind it, you know, so this is going to flip up. This will flip up and we'll have our lady here, and this will be a decorative piece here, but I will just put it like in between. I hope that makes sense. It will make sense as we work on the page. So I'm working through this and I don't think I'm going to be able to use the third image. I don't think I have enough room. So I have my background piece and I was like, oh, I'm not going to use the whole thing. Blah, blah, whatever, Jody, whatever, right? So I was kind of laying this on here and I was thinking, well, I am going to, it's not that I could, I am going to. I would like to have something, and maybe I backed this, but maybe I will reprint and maybe reprint this tag or print another tag or use another piece of the Tim Holtz background. And, or, no, I don't want to do that. I've already used it. I'm going to put a slit in here, but I'm thinking I'm going to just center I'm either, focus, Jody, focus. I know, I'm not communicating well. Let me back up. I used here a piece of antique German book page. It's so beautiful. It's really, really brittle. So the only way to use that book page is basically in collage because it is super brittle. And Bernice, this is your Polish book page. I so seldom use it because I hoard it. You know I hoard it. But I'm like, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it. Ooh, I know I backed that, but maybe if I push this up a little bit, I want to know, I still want to be able to see my music paper on the edge, and I'm really cramming a lot into this page. Because, yeah, I was thinking there's too much going on to use her. She's going to be hidden if I make her a pocket. So, but I still think I want to put something down here just to add some interest at the bottom of the page. But first, what we're going to do is I'm going to just kind of figure out where I want these. And I think about right there is fine. So if I come down, I think that's about a 1/2 inch-ish, not quite. So let's say, I'll just do it at 1/2 inch. And I'm going to put a slit in the back of this. Now where this could get sketchy is because I tore this. I didn't cut this with a straight edge. Oh my gosh. So I'm really just kind of eyeballing it, to be perfectly honest, and hoping that we can get a straight cut. So a 1/2 inch down, move stuff out of the way, and then another 1/2 inch down, okay? And then I have about, so, you know, let's see. Well, that's not going to matter. You're not going to see this because it's on the back. So if I have like an 1/8 inch here and an 1/8 inch here, right? So then my line has to be cut about like that, because what's going to happen then is we're going to slip our little into the back. It'll make sense in just a second. Get a knife here. And make sure you're using your corkback rulers. Do you guys get tired of hearing me say that? I just don't want anybody to get cut. That would be really bad. I do enough damage to myself. I don't need anybody else doing what I'm doing and then getting hurt. Because that would be so bad. Come all the way over. Keep coming. About right there. Okay. And then I'm just going to come over ever so slightly and cut again. I just want a sliver out of that. I don't want a big chunk of paper out, just a sliver, because that's going to allow, did it even do it? It did do it. Yeah. See, just a little sliver out of there is all I want. Come on. Yeah. And I need to clean that up a little bit. I think I need to break the blade. I'm afraid to break these blades. I was brave last time and I broke it without asking Mark to do it, but it always scares me to break those off. And that's such a convenient little knife. I love it because the blades are like great. You know, you dull a blade, you break it off, and boom, you've got a new blade. But it always makes me nervous to do it. So, okay. So then what is going to happen is this is going to slide in there, and then we'll glue that down. And then we'll still have our background page, right? Hi. And then this can flip up like that. So I want to make sure I'm even, right? I'm going to hold that in place because that's pretty much where I want it. Come over here and just run some glue right there. Okay? And then that's going to hold the flap down. And hope she's straight. All right. And then, so then she'll flip up. And then one of these beautiful, lovely ladies will be on the bottom side as a surprise. So now I have to do my second pocket. And I want to have this about here, probably about here. I want a little bit of a gap because I think I might still put some trim. But I'm glad I'm doing this before I did any trim because I don't have as much room as I thought I did. So now from the top, this is approximately 3 5/8-ish. How about let's just go 3 3/4 from the top. So flip this back over, get the right tool, and we're going to go approximately 3 3/4 from the top. And do the same thing. Okay? And do the same thing. Come over, make our slit, and get our piece put in. Okay? So now we have both pieces glued, just the flaps in the back. And I didn't stabilize this because the flap itself is stabilizing, and this isn't going to matter because we're going to glue this whole thing down like that. Okay? So I'm just going to get that glued down. I think I want to run a little bit of stitching around both of these images, and then I'll get those glued down. And hopefully then I'll figure out what I want to do like at the bottom of the page because we have that gap. And I'm thinking I want to put something along that bottom edge, but I'm not sure what yet. And I was thinking I was going to center this on the page. And maybe I will, and we'll just do a little collage strip of some sort, maybe up here and maybe down here. Just a little something to add some interest and color to the page. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I just have to figure out what I want to use. I've been in my fabric bin a few times, and I don't know. I have some really pretty napkins, but the designs are so big on those that I don't think I have any napkins that are going to work to add just a little bit of something. I have some Tim Holtz collage paper, but again, the designs are so big that that's not going to work. We could stamp. Maybe I'll just stamp something for some interest in those blank spots. I think that might be a way to do it. So really, it's just about whatever's pleasing to your eye, you know, when you're working on your project. And we all know I have no idea what I'm doing with this one. I'm just kind of trying to think of different ways to use these ladies and just make kind of an interesting piece to flip through and play with. And, you know, like I said, there's not much in the way of journaling space with this, but that's okay. And then I did make, that's a tuck and that's a tuck, but I don't know what we're going to put in there yet. And maybe I'll cut this down and just make some little tags out of it. I don't know yet. But anyway, I'll stitch around her, and I think we need a little bit of something here still. Take 2 of this particular segment because I didn't hit the save button on the video. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have a little bit of French book page at the top and bottom. That's a piece of a play, and there's this sentence, and this is actually the next sentence. It says it's magnificent. We have her, and she's a tuck, right? And she is a tuck, but I don't have anything in there yet. We'll make a tag out of something to put in those pockets. or fold something. I don't know yet what I'm going to put in there. And we have her. And I did a little bit of stamping with some script stamp just to add a little bit of pink to the background pages. And then here I had gotten too much ink on my stamp itself, you know, on the flat parts where sometimes you'll touch it to your ink pad. And I didn't catch that I had done that. And I wasn't using a stamp block. So I just did long here. She longed to see him. I just felt like she's dreaming of her man. And anyway, so yeah. So what I'm going to do is this is going to be the last, I think I'll share with you, of actually embellishing the pages. I need to look for some trims here. I want to trim her out. I kind of have an idea what I might want to do with her. And then I have, I got to find, I think I'm going to go with golds with her. I don't know that I have any trims that are this color, so I have to look in my bin and see what I have that I can pull. But I'm really feeling like maybe some golds on her. And then over here on this beautiful young lady, I have this trim that I've been hoarding. This is all I have left of it. My friend sent this to me, and I thought I could use 2 of those, and then I'll have those 3 left. But I'm like, but that's wide enough. I could use that across a whole page if I was doing a full journal. And then I'm like, Jody, just use it. But then I'm like, boho. So see where I'm going with this? I'm trying to hoard the piece. But if I just use 2 of those, right, in that corner, that's something hanging from the top, and we haven't done that yet. And then it still gives me 3 pieces. So I'm going to solve the problem. Going to solve the problem. Look at me go. Stop hoarding. Use the things you love, right? Because what's the point of having them? It's just sitting in the bin, and I need to use it. If I can get it cut, I'm trying to be very careful so that I don't damage what's left of it. And there I go again. I'm trying to cut my hair because my braid is over my shoulder. Yeah, so that'll be pretty. And then when we pick that up, we'll have those little bits will be on there. So that'll be really pretty. But anyway, so I'm just going to continue working. And like I said, I'll come back the next well, you don't know what I said because I didn't save the video. The next video will be doing the cover. I did find another box yesterday. I used up the last of my rice. So this is the right width, and I do have a wrinkle in it, but I don't think that's going to matter. I think I will get it sanded down, pick out whatever fabric I want to use for the front. Then I will do my, she's going to go on the front. She's going to be so pretty as our cover. And we'll go from that, but that'll be in another video. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do continue to leave me the wonderful comments. Like, subscribe, share. Oh, look at that. I missed a page when I was inking. All of those wonderful things. And, I really appreciate your kind comments. I'm really nervous about being on Tracie's design team for sure, because I want to make sure that I showcase her beautiful work in a way that does it, you know, justice. And, you know, she deserves that. She works really hard. She's very generous with her Facebook group and her YouTube people, her subscribers. She's just very generous. So I want to make sure that, you know, I'm giving due credit to the work that she does and the work that I do. I don't know. Does that make sense? I hope you know what I'm trying to say, because clearly I'm not saying it well. This has been my whole day has been like this, so I'm not surprised. Okay. Yeah, that looks better. I like it. Okay, so I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.